There's 3 reasons why I'm doing a review on the Syedee hip abductor and adductor. That's a BB-uctor and a BD-uctor. Abductor, so legs out, legs in. Abductor machine. Those 3 reasons are, my wife told me I was going to be doing this when she saw the review request in my email inbox. Yes, she has access to those. Number 2, I enjoy my marriage. So I said, okay, babe, you got it. And 3, I'm not proud to say this, I'm saying it anyways, I actually find myself using this machine more than I expected I would. Honestly, I was like, I'm gonna try it out, I'm gonna review it, and that's gonna be the end of it. Anyways, DJ here with ACHV PEAK, and today I'm going to be reviewing, like I said, the Syedee hip abductor and hip adductor machine. For this review, we're going to kind of cover all of the basics, specs, operation, adjustments that can be made, one modification I make, as well as likes, dislikes, and if it will actually stay in my garage gym. Let's get into it. This machine does 2 things, and it does them particularly well, and that is going to be to work your glute med, glute min, and your tensor fascia lata muscle. That's going to be pretty much all the muscles in the top end of your butt muscles, not the glute max, which is the bottom piece. It kind of creates that nice teardrop action, but the top portion of it. So if you choose that you want to build a booty so big you can sit a glass on it, this will help you do that. Outside of that, it is an adduction, which is bringing the legs in, which is going to work the inside of the thigh muscles. For the most part, women are going to love this machine. Men are going to come nowhere near it, even though they should, and that is the general overview of this machine. It is a plate-loaded machine on the back right here, and you load your own weights onto it. It is not a plate, a selectorized plate stack. It is a load your own weight, so you will need to get your own weights to use this. It uses a 2-inch standard Olympic size peg right here, so 1-inch weights will not work. It does not have the option for a sleeve that goes over a 1-inch, so you can use either or. It is going to be a 2-inch hole diameter plate that is going to go on it. As for operations and adjusting, you pretty much will use this little pin right here to open and close the legs, and then you can just drop the pin and it will lock. It gives you 6 adjustment spots right there, and then with these pins right here, what you can do is turn them inside or out depending on the way you want to do them. And then it has weight peg storage, and then or weight storage right here with the pegs, and your weights go on the back. Pretty plain and simple, nothing too complicated with it. Adjusting the unit is actually relatively easy. So all you have to do, if you have a little bit too much play, or maybe you want a little bit more play right here, well, what you have right here is you have a tube connected to 2 heim joints, and what you can do is loosen the nuts on each end and then spin that, and it's going to either tighten or loosen, and when it does that, it's going to move this right leg. And so it's going to bring that right leg in or out. And then it has another one up under there on the other side, yeah, it's right here, that is going to adjust this piece. So you're pretty much selectorized plate right there. Then there's a final one way up in there that adjusts your left leg, and so, or left arm. And so what that allows you to do is when you close it, to get them even instead of off to one side or off to the left. When we first got the unit, the left leg, or I need to call them arms, so we know that I'm referring to my legs and the machine's arms. So the arms, the left arm was kind of straight, the right arm was like cocked out just a little bit. It wasn't crazy, and so I kind of just made some quick adjustments. It literally took like 2 minutes, and that's it. So that's pretty much all the adjustments that you get as far as the actual machine goes using it, and then the seat pad right here can come forwards or back, and that is all of the adjustments. There's one modification that I made to this machine, and that is going to be, I took off these weight pegs right here. We kind of have, this is a compact space. It's a garage, it's like 19 by 21. I have tons of equipment, it's loaded. We have to film in here, and it actually sits like right next to my camera and next to our freak athlete that we have, the Nordic Hyper, and the weight pegs just got in the way because I keep it relatively close to them. I don't put any weights on it. We have weights sitting here, we have weights sitting over there, on here, and I just don't need the extra plate storage. So I personally took my pegs off so I could have more space around the garage and be able to push it towards something. You just have to watch out because your arms down here, when you open them, will come to about 50, 55 inches wide. So you're gonna need to have some space for that. But the way I have it set up is it actually kind of comes out in the front of our Nordic Hyper that we have, so it doesn't really get in the way. The weight pegs did. The weight pegs, if you do keep them on, are about 44 inches wide. The unit depth right here, if you have, say, a 45-pound plate on the back, a standard diameter plate, it's gonna run you about 75 inches from the back all the way to the tip of the arms right there when the arms are fully shut. And so that's gonna be your basic dimensions for this piece of equipment. I want to go over the build quality real quick on this unit because you got to have, you know, some cost-friendly items, but a lot of times cost-friendly items come at a cost-friendly price, which is they kind of cheap out on the construction quality, and this unit does not fit that mold. The arms are made of some very solid steel, so at the end you kind of have some oval tubing, and then the rest of the unit pretty much turns into a square or rectangle tubing, and it is solid. It's a heavy unit. To move it around is an absolute pain in the butt because it's nice and heavy. It's sturdy. It's actually heavier than my leg press that I have, which is a way bigger unit. And then it has rubber feet on all four corners right here, and so it doesn't want to move either. When you're using it, it's very, very stable. It feels good. When you're pulling on the handles, you don't feel any give. I mean, it is a really, really well-built unit for the price point that it's at. The Heim joints are very nice for the adjustments to kind of allow it to move. I mean, realistically, everything overall, when I put this thing together, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty impressive that it's at the cost that it is, and it seems to be really high quality and well-built product. Now I want to get into my likes and dislikes with this unit. There's not a ton. There's like 5 or 6 likes, 2 or 3 dislikes. Let's get into them. First things first, likes. This is a sturdy unit, just like I said. I mean, it's well built. That's all I'm gonna say about that. We're gonna be done with that actually. That's it. That's all we got. It's well made, it's sturdy. It's a great price to quality value. That's what I wanna say. Another thing I wanna say is that the directions are great. And then the directions are well put together. Sometimes you get the units like, I could just probably attempt to assemble this on my own and it would save me more time than actually using the directions, and this didn't fall into that. It had really well established directions. They were clear, and then it kind of comes on like a cardboard type box with all of the pieces like vacuum sealed to it, and then they were all like number coded or letter coded, so you kind of knew. And then they even put the actual size of the bolts, the nuts, all that good stuff, so it was all right there. It came with some tooling, so if you don't have tools, you could actually put it together on your own. But overall, the directions, packaging, and even the nuts and bolts thing that it comes with, it was well done. It's well thought out. One of the last things I want to say is the operating on it. It is a very, very smooth unit. I mean, you're opening and closing your legs. There's not a whole lot to do there. You know, it's in and it's out. It is what it is. But I mean, it's buttery smooth. It's high quality. That's all I gotta say. Right there. That's it. Lastly, it's easy to use. I like that it's easy to use. There's only 3 different pins that you can use right there, and then you adjust the seat. That's it. That's all you got to do to use the thing. You can turn the leg pads in, you can turn the leg pads out, you can move the arms in, you can move the arms out, and then you can move the seat back and forth, and then we can all scream and shout, you know, whatever that song might be. But that's it. It's easy to use, it's simple, it's effective, it gets the job done. Now let's cover the dislikes. My dislikes are, even with the good packaging, it still came with scratches. I don't know why it bothers me when stuff gets scratched. I mean, it's gonna happen. Like I said, it happens, but it really sucks when it gets a little scuff or gets scratched, has a couple dings when you receive a unit that you paid for. But it's not because of Syedee, it is because of the shipping company. That's my belief, at least. Another thing I want to come up with, or I want to say on the dislikes, is going to be this selectorized or selector plate right here. And what happens is that I've kind of tightened it so it doesn't have a lot of play. And as you can see, it should be going in, but it doesn't. So what I have to do is kind of grab this outside and push it just a little bit to get it locked. I can avoid this if I loosen this tubing at the heim joints. But then what that ends up doing is it ends up spreading the legs out. So you would lose a ½ inch, maybe an inch of range of motion on it, but then you wouldn't have to kind of move this plate right here, this selector plate. It could be because maybe operator error, I'm not sure, but that I would like that if it was kind of a little bit more seamless than just dropping that pin in. It'll usually end up clicking on the first or second try. It's nothing major, but I wish it kind of functioned a little bit smoother on that one. Okay, final dislike. I know, everybody wants the red, but I'm not a fan of the red. I didn't see any other options. I wasn't asked of any other options if I wanted like red or black. Personally, I like all black equipment. I don't, black or white pretty much. If all this was white, I would be cool with that because I got white walls so it kind of all blends in. I'm not big on the red. You might be big on the red. I see a lot of people are big on the red. Not me. I'm not a red guy. I wish I had an all black. I want just nice, consistent, blacked out. That's my jam. So that's my final dislike. The coloring, I don't like that. The selectorized plate right there, I wish that was a little bit better. I wish it didn't come with scratches. It does. Whatever. It happens. Okay, final verdict here. Will it stay? The short answer, yes. But not because you think. I know earlier that my wife informed me that I had to do a review on this. And here I am doing a review on this. So, yeah, and I like my marriage. But it's going to stay. Probably number one because my wife told me she's keeping it because she loves it. And she can't wait to use it more when she has our third kid soon in the next couple weeks. But I actually like it. It's good. So if you didn't know, your glute medians are responsible for stabilization. So if you ever see people doing squats and their knees are buckling in or they're kind of all over the place, that's like largely due to the glute medians, glute mins being kind of a stabilizer for the legs. And this unit works that. So if your squats are a little wobbly or you have issues, especially when you're maxing out, your knees buckling in, this fixes it. And since I've been doing this, I've actually noticed that my knees feel a lot better, like overall, like they just feel stable. I play a lot of volleyball and my knees feel better when I'm done with volleyball. And I feel more stable when I'm jumping a lot because I jump hundreds of times every time we play. My knees feel better when I'm squatting, when I'm doing leg presses. I've been really working on doing pistol squats and my knees feel way more stable and I just feel generally stronger overall in my legs. And so for that reason, I don't know, I'm going to keep it. We're going to keep it around. It takes up a little more space than I would have hoped, but I'll live with it. So we're going to keep it. It's going to stay. That's coming from me. That's not from Jen. That's coming from me. It's going to stay. I actually like it. I use it. I don't know. I'm kind of ashamed. Kind of not. Certainly not going to go boast about it to anybody that walks in my gym that I use this thing. I'm going to deny it till I die. And hopefully they haven't seen this video when they come over. But if they have, it is what it is. I'll deal with the flack I catch. The Syedee hip abductor, hip adductor, it's going to stay in the garage. It's a good unit. That's all I got to say about that. If you like it, go check it out. There's a link in the description. I'll post it on the video. All that good stuff. You want to check it out. If you're interested in strengthening the glute medians, glute mins, you know, all that, the inner thighs, you're trying to get some stronger legs overall, more stability, check out this unit. It's great. You can find it on Amazon. I'll post the link in the description. And until the next time, see you guys.